My name's Tony and I'm the head chef of Liverpool John Moores University. Today we're going to be making a chicken pad thai. The ingredients include some chicken breasts, some carrots, some mange two. We've got some dried chili flakes and some rice noodles, the flat ones we're going to use today. In this sauce here, we've combined the sauce and the ingredients we've got in here. We've got fish sauce, nam pla, which is Thai fish sauce. We've got sriracha sauce, which is a Thai chili sauce, some tamarind paste, some soy sauce and some brown sugar. We've also got some garlic in there as well. Okay. First job we're going to be doing is we're going to soak our rice noodles. Now the rice noodles, when you soak them, it doesn't have to be boiling water. So I've just covered them with hot water, so it can just be water that you can tolerate, you know, with your hand. Doesn't have to be boiling. And we're going to soak them in that for 15 to 20 minutes. We want them so there's still a bit of a bite to them, because the idea is that when we add them to the dish at the end, we're going to carry on cooking them for 2 or 3 minutes, and that'll just take them to just the perfect texture. Just going to prep up the carrots and the mange two. So with the mange two, you can leave them whole if you want, but all I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim them up and just cut them in half. Some garlic to add to the chicken. As I said, I'm going to add this to the chicken once the chicken is nearly done. I don't want the garlic to burn in the pan. I just want the garlic to flavour it. You don't have to be precise, just slices will do. I've got 3 cloves. So as soon as we got good colour on the chicken, I'm going to add that garlic to it. So I'm going to prepare the carrots now. So I've peeled the carrots, and what we're aiming to do is just cut thin strips from the carrots. Now, if you're not confident in doing this, you can also grate it if you've got a grater. But I'll just show you again. Just make sure you've got a flat base to rest it on the board, and it'll stop the knife sliding away. And just cut thin strips one way, and then just get it quite thin. I've cut the mange two in half, and I've shredded the carrots. The next job we're going to do is the chicken. So just a tip for you when you're preparing this dish, try and get all these jobs, we'll get them out the way first before you touch the chicken, because I'm conscious that at home you've got one board, you've got maybe one knife. So if you leave the raw meat till the last, at least then you're not. So if you've done that first, you'd have to wash all your equipment before you can wash the veg. It's just a little tip just to save a bit of time. So there's 3 chicken breasts. What we want to do, we want to cut them quite thin. So that's the chicken done. Just another thing, I'm just going to wash my hands now. Just make sure that when you've been preparing raw meat or even raw vegetables that are unwashed, just always wash your equipment afterwards, wash your hands thoroughly before you start another task. Another tip is get your pan to the temperature you need. You know, you can feel the heat before you add the oil. I've always done it. It's just, it gives me greater control, so I know as soon as I've added the oil to it. Because sometimes, when you put your oil in and you heat the pan up, you know, if you turn your back for 1 minute, that oil could be really, really hot. At least you know once the pan's hot, you've added your oil and then you're on to the next stage. Olive oil's no good. You want an oil that's got a decent smoke point so you can get to a high temperature. Because what I'd like to do with this is get that oil nice and hot, get the chicken in and get it moving. I want it to fry, I don't want it to stew and where it just goes, you see white bits in it. I want it to get a little bit of coloration. We've got that oil up to quite a decent temperature. You can hear it. As soon as it hits the pan, it's frying. And I really want to get that frying up quite quickly. So this will probably take just over 5 minutes to do. Keep the heat up, keep it moving. So as you can see there, the chicken, there's no red in it now, it's all turned mostly white. Just going to give that a bit longer. I'm going to add the garlic now. At this stage also, you know, if you wanted to, you could add some more chilies to cook in with them. Even though the finished dish has dried chili flakes on top, just if you wanted to add an extra bit of heat to it. Just going to check on the noodles, where we are with these. So they're perfect. So as you can see with them, it's still a breaks, but it's not mushy or anything like that. The final cooking will be when we add it to the dish at the end. We give it another 2 or 3 minutes with the lid on, give it a good shake, and that residual heat will finish it off. So what I'm going to do with these noodles now is I'm just going to drain them and leave them in a colander for when I need to add them to the dish near the end. So I'm going to go in with the carrots and the mange too. I'm going to give these maybe 2 or 3 minutes in here before I add the noodles and the sauce, and we're nearly towards the end of making the dish then. What you're looking for really is a pan that's got quite a large surface area. Anything that's too narrow and tall, it makes things a little bit different, getting the good distribution of heat, you know, so you can really get colour on the chicken. So if you've got a wok or you've got quite a wide bottom pan, I think that'll work. So I've had the carrots and the mange in for 2 or 3 minutes now. You still want to crunch on them, so all you're doing is just getting them started. I'm going to add the noodles to the dish now. So I've soaked these for 15 minutes. I've drained them. They're still slightly underdone, but once we add them to this, they're going to finish. The noodles are in, and then finally to this dish I'm going to add the sauce mix. So we've got sriracha sauce, we've got fish sauce, got some soy sauce in there, got some tamarind paste, some brown sugar, a little touch of honey you can put in there. And I'm just going to try and ensure everything's mixed in. So with pad thai, there's a few varieties. I mean, some people even like egg in it. So like, you know, they'd whip up an egg and they'll fry it and they'll add it to that. Some people like shrimps in it. It just depends what your tastes are. You know, it's quite a versatile dish. As a good vegan alternative, you can use 5-spice tofu, and it just depends what you want. Some people just prefer to just have quite a good mix of coloured vegetables through it. So I'll put the lid on. I'm just going to give it, it's on a high heat, medium high heat. Just going to give it 3 or 4 minutes. Just keep giving it a shake, just so the brings the noodles back up to temperature and they're just cooked on point. Have a little taste, make sure the noodles are done. Yeah. Just give them another minute or so. They'll be done. I'm just going to give it a quick season again. Taste this, see if it needs seasoning. 1 minute, that'll be done. Ready. Just going to give them another final stir just to make sure everything is evenly distributed. Portion out. Just going to sprinkle it with some crushed peanuts. Some chili flakes. And then garnish it with a wedge of lime.